Most people can't go 10 minutes without lying.
Exiting the highway, be there in like 5 minutes.
Children learn to lie at the age of 3.
Did you spill this flour?
Women tend to lie better than men.
Oh, cute shoes.
The average person lies within 3 minutes of meeting someone.
So you have plenty of sales experience?
Oh, absolutely.
But sometimes, little white lies can take a dark turn.
I think my husband might be cheating on me and I just can't get it out of my head.
Lies are told every day, and I can spot them all.
But as far as taking from my father, I would never take $1.
Because it's not only what you're saying, it's also what you're not.
Body language expert Tonya Reiman.
Here to break down their body language is Tonya Reiman.
She is an expert in this field.
I'm Tonya Reiman, and if you're lying, I'm gonna know it. So I get calls from across the country to deal with all different types of problems. This particular problem is a sad one. Richard is missing upwards of $10,000, and he suspects it's one of his daughters. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Good to see you. I'm glad you could make it.
Tell me a little bit about what's been going on.
Well, I've been missing quite a bit of stuff. Money, jewelry. Might be one of my kids, but I don't want to think it is.
Right. So Richard believes that it's one of his daughters because the two of them are the only ones other than himself that have access to the home.
Well, I don't want to go to the police. I'm not going to press charges or anything. And that's why I called you to help me with this, because I just need some closure on it.
I can't imagine the heartache that you experience just at the thought of one of your daughters doing this. So that's why I want to help you get to the bottom of it. Reading body language. This is something that you just can't turn off. I can see the sadness in his face. He's got his eyebrows are tilted, his mouth is downward, and that's a sure sign of somebody who's feeling ultra vulnerable. Walk me through exactly what happened and give me some ideas about what you believe is missing. I'm a parent also, and I can't even imagine the emotions that Richard is experiencing right now.
I had to have the lock on the safe chain because someone must have rifled through the drawer and found the combination. But yeah, they took all the cash that was in here out. A necklace, rows of quarters, and one of the most things I'm upset about is my wedding bands.
That must have been heartbreaking. The stakes are really high here because Richard is telling me that if it is one of his daughters, she's cut out of the will. You deserve better than this, so thank you so much for trusting me with this.
Well, thank you for coming.
I promise we're going to resolve it. We're at a park, and I've chosen this setting for a specific reason. I'm Tonya Reiman. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You want neutrality whenever you're trying to get nonverbals from someone. All right, let's take a walk. Okay. I'm setting up 2 chairs, and I'm doing so in a way that I can see their entire body. Although most of the emotions come from the face, people don't recognize what they're doing with their lower half of their body. Their legs are jazzing, twisting, turning. So I need a full view. Are you seeing anyone?
I'm single right now, no.
What I typically do is I first determine someone's truth signals. You have a son, how old did you say he was?
He's 17.
And then when I start asking them deeper questions, I'll be able to discern if there's been a deviation from that normal behavior. What do you know about what's gone missing?
Okay, I'm not Lily White. I have done things in my past that I'm not proud of, but as far as taking from my father, I would never take $1.
I'm talking to Susan.
I'd say, Dad, did you mix it up? Almost $10,000 gone out of the safe. I want to say I graduated at 87, then I would rest until about daylight, and then he would wake me up.
But I'm really not, because Susan never stops talking.
Nobody knew where all that stuff was but my sister and us. My sister and me. Sister and I will say that.
Typically when people talk this much, it's because they're trying to deceive you. So now you know where the safe is, downstairs.
I've never even touched the safe.
You've never touched the safe at all, never even put your fingers on it.
No, that's not true. I'm sorry, I've got a varicose vein that's driving me crazy.
I was making sure there's no mosquitoes.
No.
Whenever you self-soothe, it's a pacification gesture. And that's you comforting yourself as you're being deceptive. All right, thank you so much again. Hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm Tonya Reiman. We're here to discuss pretty much your dad and what's happening. So tell me what you know about this situation.
He said, did you get in my safe? And I said, no. And that's when he told me that he had money missing.
I'm talking to Jeannie, and I'm noticing she's not holding my eye contact. Was there a time that anyone else besides yourself was in the house?
To be honest with you, I don't remember.
She's using statements that we know to be deceptive statements. Statements such as, oh, I can't recall, I don't remember.
Memory for me is a problem.
These are statements that people tend to use in order to let you know that they have an absolute excuse. Who would the first three people come to mind that are potentials that you might find fingerprints on that safe from?
I mean, I don't...
The fact that Jeannie pivoted away and she's closed off her body language in addition to the eye contact is really starting to become a red flag. Okay, well, I want to thank you very much. I know this was draining. Definitely have my thoughts, and at this point, it's taking a very interesting twist. Hey, Richard, how are you?
Hey, Tonya, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, so I have some news for you. So I talked to both daughters, and what I found was, after speaking to Susan, typically people who talk a lot seem more evasive, but I really feel like she was sincere in saying she had never been in that safe. She's able to hold eye contact, her body language is open, she's directed towards me, she's speaking from the heart, she loves you, and I fully believe she did not go into that safe. Now, Jeannie, that was a whole other matter. Her pitch was off, her tone was off, her inflections were off. Everything she said verbally went against everything she said non-verbally. Unfortunately, after I talked to her for a little bit, she is the one. She's the one. She pretty much lied about everything. When you lie, it starts off in the amygdala. The amygdala sends the information to your hypothalamus. And now you're producing catecholamines. Once that happens, you're in fight or flight mode. Look at me for a minute. Make eye contact with me for 1 minute. I want to tell you something. You might get flushed, your pupils are going to dilate, your heart rate is going to go up, your respiratory rate is going to go up, even your blood pressure is going to go up. Well, we now know that Jeannie is the one responsible for everything that's missing. So sorry I couldn't give you better news.
But I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you helped me on it. It made a big difference.
I'm on my way now to a young lady's house who has a 1.5-year-old son. Hey! Oh, what a beauty. And at this moment, she's not feeling really good about her marriage. I am so glad you called me. What's up, little man? Yeah, so you work and take care of the babe all day. You manage juggle,
all day.
Huh? Very good.
Every day. Yes.
That's a lot of work, I know.
If his dad were here too, that'd be so much better.
Yeah, well, you know, does Dad work a lot of hours, or?
Well, he does, but it's what he does after those hours that concerns me.
I've been married 25 years. I have 3 babes of my own. And I remember that time. This is a really stressful period. And this is also the time that sometimes marriages hit a bump. And that's what's happening here. All right, so I know what you've told me over the phone. What are the issues?
I think my husband might be cheating on me, and I just can't get it out of my head. He's going out after work with the guys, and I don't see him until 7:30, 8. I mean, he does come home.
As I'm speaking to Meredith, I can see her insecurities. Her shoulders are hunched. Has anything changed in the intimacy department?
A little bit, a little bit.
I mean, of course,
he doesn't
the
hug
baby,
me as long.
Right, well, the baby is going to make things change because obviously, you know, the baby's up and dynamics change. What I mean is, does he still look at you in the eyes? You know, do you guys still touch feet? You know, do you keep your heads together when you're watching television? Those are the big things that tell when intimacy starts to go out the window or when somebody's starting to kind of have a wavering eye. Not only am I a body language expert, but I also have a background in psychology. And quite often, especially in situations like this, I find it turns into a therapy session. When he's at the bar, is he just telling you he's hanging out with the guys?
Yeah.
Or do you know this bar that he hangs out in?
Yeah, it's a local bar. It's a couple miles away, and I don't want to follow him.
Well, you know what? That's what I do. And I'm married for 25 years, and if
Really?
this was my man, I'd be tailing him. So don't worry about that. That's my job for you at this point.
Okay.
My love, this is not nosiness. This is your life. Relax. This is all going to work out. And no matter what, you're going to find out what's going on. We know what we're doing. We just have to make sure he's here. So I'm going to eyeball around. Here's what's going to happen. I have a woman named Lindsay who works for me, and I'm gonna send her in, and I'm gonna see if she can not only distract Mike, but actually get him to go home with her. Okay, Lindsay, for the first move, what I want you to do is make eye contact with him, and then I want you to look down, expose some of your neck, and then lift your eyes back up. Just hold his eyes for a beat or two. The signals that I'm sending Lindsay out with at times may seem a little overt. Lift your fingertips up to your lips and kind of rub them a little bit, but that's okay. One of the things that I do quite often is teach men and women how to flirt. Mike's not gonna pick up on the fact that they're overt. I want you to get up, and as he's leaning over the pool table, just touch him gently and say, "Excuse me," as you walk by. I know these things work. I wanna see if they work on Mike. This is it. It's time to go in for the kill.
Hey, you're really good. I've never played before.
Really?
I bet you could teach me.
The structure of a man's face can tell you a lot about his testosterone level. When I look at Mike, he does have a nice flow of testosterone, and you can tell that by the fact that between the brow and the lip is a shorter distance. The higher the testosterone level, the more likely a man is to stray if he's not being satisfied at home.
So, you want to teach me how to play?
I'm watching her, and she's really laying it on thick, and I'm watching his body language. And I noticed something. Hey.
Hey.
I wanted to talk to you face to face. He is where he says he is. He's, at the bar.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Okay.
he's there. However, is he a flirt? He's a flirt, absolutely. But my girl went in and she threw every tactic she knew at him. And you know what he did? He pivoted away. He just kind of smiled. Thanks, no thanks. That closed mouth grin, as well as the foot pivot, tells me everything I need to know. He's not a cheat.
I'll probably finish up with my boys here, probably finish the game.
But you guys do have some issues, there's no doubt about it. Just try to spice up life. After kids come along, it's hard. I have 3, I know, and I've been married a long time. It's hard to spice things up.
It is.
But you have to work at it because there's nothing more important than that aspect of your intimacy. Okay?
Thank you so much.